Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Listen, y'all. Listen. First of all, I want to thank all the new subscribers. We we are now at 1,300 subscribers now as of today. Yeah, T, we were doing it, girl. We're doing it. They're finding us and they're loving us, and we appreciate you. We do. We really we put in that work, and now you're showing us is well worth it. So thank you for that. Today's discussion is going to be hmm, the family, particularly the black family. Um, I, T and I've been talking way before this podcast about how the black family is there's a war that's quote unquote going on that really doesn't exist only in our world and in the black community in the black culture, so to speak. Um, and yeah, I have to tell you, I have to read some facts to you guys about what this does to the family, the black family, when the men and women are fighting. While we're fighting, everybody else is thriving. And so I'm gonna run some statistics off for y'all guys, and your mouth gonna drop when I after I finish reading this. Of course, T's mouth already dropped when I sent it to her. So you're like, damn, it's like that. I was like, yeah, it's like that. This is facts, and it's from a guy, man, Dr. George C. Fraser, CEO of FraserNet. And what he does a lot of research on wealth, particularly black wealth, and how our dynamic is changing drastically, not for the good either. And I'm just gonna run it down for you.
Oh, Malcolm, was this published online or is this like where's this published at?
You could actually go to you can look up Dr. George C. Fraser, and it'll have his company's called FraserNet.inc. Yeah, FraserNet, F mm, FRASER net .com. And he does all these type of research things about the family and the wealth, black wealth, and all that. So you can go and look at it yourself. And at the end, we'll give you the actual contact information to get there. But this is from him, and he's been studying this for about 25, 30 years. And here's, I'm just going to go down. For black women, 71% are not married, and 29% will never get married. For black men, 63% are not married, and 30% will never get married. The marriage in the black community is down from 85, which was a high back in the 60s, to 34% today. From
I'm
85
yeah,
to
run that
30.
back.
Yes, I'm going to say it again. The black marriage 40 years ago was 85%. Today, 2024, is 34%.
Mm.
I'm gonna let that sit for a second. So something's horribly wrong, and it gets worse, y'all. Let me tell you. The crisis only exists in Black America, only in Black Americans, African Americans in America. Nowhere else does this happen in the world. So you can't say, oh, Hispanics. No, only us, only Black people. This is a particularly hard thing that we go through, which is crazy. Um, Here's another interesting thing. For 350 years, white people ruled the top number one position when it came to median income for the family. 350 years. Now, as of today, they're not number one anymore. Let me go down the list and tell you who's number one to five. The first one, number one now, is the East Indian families. They are number one. They have a median income of $104,000 per household. Their marriage rate is 94%.
Okay.
The second one is the Chinese Asians. They have a household income of 110,000 per household, but their marriage rate is 70%. Number three is white people. They're 88,000 per household and they have a marriage rate of 50%. Number four, Hispanics. They have a household income of $61,000 and their marriage rate of 70%. And guess who's number five at the low end, at the end?
That would
Black
be
people. We are 55,000 per household, and our marriage rate is 34%. Yes, this is where we are. And based on what Dr. Frazier said, by 2053, black families will have zero wealth, zero, y'all, wealth, based on this current trend. And this is all tied to the wealth gap that we're having that we talk about a lot. People talk about, oh, why is this happening? And there's other social economic issues and other racism and all that type of stuff. But it's a part of it, but it's not overwhelming part like somebody's putting their foot down on us. We have the income because again, the other thing is we last year uh we are $1.2 trillion I won't say industry, but we basically spent $1.2 trillion. To put that in perspective, if we were a nation, we would probably be the fifth wealthiest nation in the world. That's crazy. But
because
that's
money doesn't stay in our community.
yep, because very glad you brought that up, T. 98% of our money goes out of our community within 20 minutes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the money doesn't even rotate in our community. It goes out the community. So for instance, for Jewish people, I think it rotates 7 times in their community before it goes somewhere else. And we're on the other end. Wait, 20 minutes is gone out of our community. It doesn't help us do anything, grow anything. Um, and to talk about the wealth, and everybody else, well, black people, we make money and all this. Well, not necessarily. Let me say this to you. The average income from a black man in America is $57,000 a year. That's the average.
Okay.
For black women, it's $43,000 a year as two people. So, and put this in perspective, um, 21% of our kids live in poverty. 21% of our kids live in poverty. Stretch it on a little bit more. 8% of black men, all black men in America make $100,000 a year. 8%. Now, it's probably less than that because that's all black men. So if you eliminate the black men who marry other races, the black men who are gay, the black men who don't want to even be in a relationship, they're just like rolling on themselves and just spending money on themselves. So I would reduce that down to 4%, just conservatively. I'd say four, yeah, 4 or 5%. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and continue this, 11% of black women make over $100,000 a year. 11%.
Mhm.
And to tie all this into how this kind of works itself out, 7% of black boys drop out of high school in America. So, and you probably say, wow, well, that's a lot. That's a high number. Yes, it is. Compared to every other race, black boys are number one dropouts. And that's another reason because we talked about school. We
Mhm.
talk about schools and families and support and all that stuff. So while y'all guys, everybody's talking about, oh, it's a war between black men and black women, it should never be a war between us because who suffers in the end? We suffer. Black men, black women suffer. But who really suffers? The kids suffer because by us not putting our stuff together, the kids got to go through all this because they see all the crazes that we put each other through, and they carry it on and think it's normal. And then they go to school. You're at home, you deal with drama. You go to school, deal with drama. Kids, black boys, like I can't deal with it. But who has the household? Black men. So if you got black men dropping out at those high rates, and they're not, they're not really finding their jobs, they're not really producing or becoming that leader, we're going to suffer. So that's why the women are mad because why we got to leave the house? Well, obviously there's something else going on. And again, let me just say this: I don't want to blame society. Like if it wasn't for the white man or this entire system's been here for 300 plus years. So it's always been here. And those people who didn't have the education that we currently have, didn't have the social skills that we had, didn't have all the opportunities possible to do better. They didn't have any of that. They used their hands and their minds to get what they had. And crazy enough, we are probably doing worse now than they did 60 years ago.
So
Eh,
you saying you want to explore this situation with the idea of um the restraints of what is it, societal directing, yeah, outside of like how we rising above it. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And I don't
Done
want
it
to keep
before.
hearing yes, because
Okay.
we've done it. Your great grandparents, your grandparents, they they had all the reason in the world. So you know what? I can't do a goddamn thing because they had laws in place that stopped them from doing things. They
Mhm.
had, I mean, I can tell you stories of my great grandmama who was like, she used to get papers and they would cut sections out of the paper. So all you saw was the bad stuff that black people did, but you never saw anything that white people did because they didn't want you to see that. So they fought through all of that, the racism, the hatred, the bigotry, all that to buy houses, to start businesses, to do amazing things when truly they could have said, you know what, we just give up, but they didn't. And what they did, worked their asses off, did what they had to do to give you the opportunity to do better. And you basically turned, they gave you a plate with all the good food, all the ribs, all the hog balls, all the greens, and you took that beautiful plate and threw it out, threw it down, said, I don't want that. And now you're paying the price for it because now we're in a situation now where, and T and I talked about it, you got all these podcast people talking about, and I call them the extremes. You're gonna have people or the left and the right talking extreme shit because they want the likes, they want the views, they want the clicks. We're not that. We're about, as we said before, we're about teaching you, informing you, and motivating you to be better. Y'all got to be better. And stop using excuses. Stop playing against each other and blaming each other for this because the only way we'll survive all this is to come together.
Well, I think sometimes the excuses got to be validated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some truth to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if there's excuses on um why I don't want to be married, right? Or why I don't want to stay married,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there's got to be something that's valid and the man and in the woman's argument when they're saying that.
There's a reason to how yeah, there's a reason for the way people are acting or how women and men are acting or contributing to each other is pissing each other off is why they treat each other that way. I understand it,
Hmm.
but it's such a huge change though, T, since we were young. It's
Yeah.
just like the way they interact is always it's almost like it's always a tug of war. It's like nobody's working together as a team. Everybody's like throwing bombs and grenades at each other across the wall, and then wondering why shit's destroyed. Like I can't believe that side's destroyed. Oh, they treat me like this. Why you throwing grenades at each other? For what reasons? I don't understand.
Well, first of all, look at how we live day to day, right? If there's fast food, you don't really need someone to, cook for you. And then there's restaurants on top of the fast food. Then you have your salad bars and the grocery stores on top of that. And then you have your prepackaged meals in the grocery store. So it was sort of like, you got that compartment of a wife, right? And then you can go to Home Depot and you can kind of hire someone to do, little small odd and end jobs for you. So you kind of got like a piece of a husband, and there's all these, and then now, there's all these apps where you can get things done. You have Thumbtack and Angie's List. So you can hire a babysitter here, you can hire a handy guy there, and then dating. I'm not saying like dating is easier, but like accessing people is easier. So you kind of can find all these pieces of um of the husband or the wife um to kind of supplement the lifestyle that you're living. And that's I think where we kind of see the longevity at because we're not accustomed to wealth and wealth building. And so we're not missing it in the culture. What we're missing is someone to hang the TV and someone to hold you at night and someone to go out to dinner with, companionship. You're not really missing the house that you never grew up in. You
Mm,
get what I'm saying? Like if you grew up and you lived in apartments all your life and you grew up and you wanted to buy a home. Don't get me wrong. You wanted to, you wanted to get a few things underneath your belt. You don't want a vacation home. Like let's just be real. You thought that you were going to be able to obtain those things, but if you didn't, it's not leaving like an ache or something missing in you because you didn't grow up, let's be real, taking vacations to another country and your parents vacation home, you know
That's true.
so I understand what the stats are saying, and I understand like looking at it from the super big picture, but the big picture doesn't exist on a day-to-day basis and inside the home and inside of your heart. And so if we try to take the problem and approach it from the bigger picture and speak on, how I must move, to improve the bigger picture, that bigger picture doesn't hold or sustain me on the day-to-day basis where I need sustaining at. So, like, in just my personal opinion, we have to talk about, you know, the things that are affecting us day to day in order to get to where we need to get to. Um, and that makes me think of a comment someone said to me. She had asked me, I looked at her and we hadn't seen each other in a while. And I looked at her and I said, "How's your son doing?" And we have sons that are the same age,
Hmm.
first year in college, right? And she said he's doing great and they're doing their little thing. And then I just looked at her and I said, "Well, how's your oldest son doing?" Because we spoke about him too as well. And I kind of turned my head and I said, "Is he married yet?" And she chuckled and she said, "Almost. How did you know?" And we just kind of chuckled and she looked at me and she said, "Tamara, um, when do I intervene and talk to them about how they're moving in their relationship?
Ooh.
Like, when is the right time to give the children guidance in their relationship, right? How can I guide her or how can I guide him? Um, so that they don't kind of self-destruct inside their own situation, right? It's like some things as basic as um teaching your kids not to step on each other's toes, right? Like,
Hmm.
respect goes along.
Hmm.
And so even if you don't want to be with a certain person, as long as you're respecting each other, you can respectfully, move on, even if that person is hurt and even if that person is volatile. When that person gets over those things, right, they'll
Hmm.
remember you had always respected them, right? And so as they find closure, they'll be mindful that that person was very respectful to me. And so when you move on, you're just able to move on. But if you disrespecting people, taking advantage of each other, taking things from people that you're not willing to give to them, right? Sometimes you want to dress up the idea of taking advantage of someone else as something, different. He just
Yep.
wants to give me stuff. He was expecting some things in return and you didn't reciprocate, and um, I think it's okay. And I think that's really a good place to start is by just simply advising our children on some basic principles. It doesn't have to be um, directly related to what you see them doing, but just some
Hmm.
basic principles on how to move inside of a relationship. To be mindful, to remind your son to be a gentleman, right? And
Yep.
how far that actually goes. And if she's not receiving of that, then that might show you the type of woman that she is, right? She don't want you to open up the door for her.
I never met a woman like that.
Like but could you imagine that you're with the woman and she's like, "Move, I got the door myself." Like,
What?
rude as hell. Like, how long you gonna sit around with a woman who's rude when you're working on yourself and you're, composing yourself and you're being mindful on how you move and how you treat this woman, but this woman isn't mindful on how she moves and how she treats you. So you don't tell your kids who to choose, but you open up their eyes so that they can see for themselves exactly what's going on. And right now, I'm sorry, right now it's the holiday times and the kids want to gift give, right?
Hmm.
I remember I had one young lady who was a student. Um, and as she got older, all the kids always come back and we just have a great relationship with them. Um, and she was talking about a guy who she was entertaining, and I just didn't see them meshing well, but they would go out and they would buy each other elaborate gifts, right? And I even see it now, with the young people now. And there's always like this elaborate gift exchange. But I had to question her and ask her, what is truly the purpose of the elaborate gift exchange when you have no intention of longevity with the young man?
Yes, that's not a good move. That's
Yeah,
not a smart move.
it's just like you just playing, and um they'll just sit back, and that'll be a moment to reflect, like, but why? Because if you was going to real life go out there, go to work, save your money, buy a $1,000 shirt, or buy $1,200 pair of shoes for this person, why wouldn't you be sewing that into somebody who you would have longevity with? Because if me and my husband, we were young, that's when we could give, stupid expensive gifts. And
Yep.
then get older, that stupid money that we kind of threw around before, that's when you start to say, hey, no, I want to, get some bigger things underneath my belt right now. And then comes the kids. So now all those things go to the kids. So it's like you still have that money. It's just that money doesn't look exactly the same. And if you're not spoiling, that somebody, when you have that like disposable type of money, it's like, you kind of sold that time and that money into just any old body. And it's just sometimes you're just so young and you don't see it. You don't think about things like that.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
as the aunties, as the uncles, as the moms, as the dads, as the teachers, as the elders now at the table, you know, it's really a question of what are we going to sow directly into our children? What are we going to talk to them about on Christmas? Well, Christmas dinner? What conversations are we having with them on Thanksgiving? When the kids is going outside to take that little walk, and we done already left out the door before them. What they doing behind what you gonna talk to them when you outside now? Cause you have to have something to put into them, right? And even
Yep.
adults, right? You have real conversations with other adults. I wouldn't be looking at my sister and watching her, choose crazily as far as with inside of her marriage, and watch her just, toss her shit down the drain, right? I would
Mhm.
my brother and, watch him choose crazily and toss his job down the drain. You know, I would say to them, hey, this moment don't last forever. We got to choose differently. Hey, I know you looking like you living life on the edge right now, but it's only a temporary feel. You know,
Yes.
as adults, we try to help guide each other as much as we can, and then there's people in the room who know more than the younger people. You know,
Yes.
it's kind of like our responsibility. And those small conversations are hopefully the things that build up to those lasting things that when you look at us as a conglomerate, we start then to kind of make a change. When you start stepping in and saying, hey sis, that man want to see his children, let him go see his fucking kids. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Let's go out to brunch. While we tell him no, he don't gotta come pick them up. We'll drop them off. You see what I'm saying? We'll make it easier for him. So
Yes.
we gotta help our young girls come up out of that. I spoke to one girl. She was my massage tech, and she
Mhm.
was a young girl. She was talking whatever, and she had a baby. And I was like, oh, are you when you plan on getting married? And she was just like, I don't plan on getting married. And I was like, sis, you should
Oh,
plan on getting married. And I just maybe no one ever said that to her. Maybe she just never valued the idea of getting married. You see what I'm saying?
yes, yes. And it also depends on where it comes from. See, you're
Hmm.
married.
Yeah.
So if you're an auntie or someone that she knew, they ain't got nobody, got a rack of kids, ain't never got close to the goddamn getting married, then she ain't gonna take your idea. Why would I listen to you? You ain't married, you got
I
five
did it
kids.
all wrong. Even the people who did it all wrong at a certain level of maturity When they talk, even those people you gotta listen to. Hell, sometimes they telling you all the shit not to do, so you gotta listen to that too. Nah, she just told me do A B. She said don't. She said the hell with these men. Men ain't shit. Men ain't never gonna be shit, and they daddies ain't shit neither. Listen, you listen to that auntie, and you don't pay nothing she said no mind. You gotta do the opposite, because you see she has multiple children. You see she don't have no wealth or assets. You see that there's certain things going on that you don't want. So
Hmm.
see, there's some validity to what she talking about.
Yes,
Like,
and it's a true statement.
see,
That's true. Because
mm,
again, I tell the young men this. I said, because I look at everything analytical because I had an analytical mind. For me, when I hear people like one of my nephews like, "Hey, I want to take her to this nice 5-star restaurant. I said, why? He said, well, she's a nice girl. And I said, well, okay. I said, maybe I asked that question different wrong. I'm gonna ask this differently. Is this the first time? Yeah, there's no way I would take her to a 5-star restaurant. He
mhm.
said, well, that's what she wants. I said, I don't give a shit what she wants. People in hell want ice water. People in heaven just want to be left alone. People down here want to be chill. I mean, everybody wants something.
Hating on those young people. Oh.
I have to. I keep this shit real. I'm like, and I put to him like this. I said, think of your love life as a credit card. You have
Mm,
$1,000 limit. He said,
mhm.
okay. Okay, you take 5 new women out because the first one you went on the first day, I spent 200. Didn't work out. Nice girl, don't want to, you know, date her or nothing. Take another one out, spend $200. She's a little better, but she has little issues, little quirks. So you take the other 3 out. At the end of those 5 days, you spent $1,000. You're,
Listen, listen.
you are tapped out, my friend.
Ain't no man out here. They're not doing that, Malcolm. You might get one or two for the 5 star. After that, they're done. They're done. No, we're Netflix and chilling. Those brothers, they're going to DoorDash. No, you're
Yep,
going to Chevy.
yep.
No, they're not about to see their pockets dwindle. And then what happens? They don't get nothing at the end of the date. They're $1,000 short. Oh, they mad.
See
Oh,
that
y'all
that
mad
that
good.
that's why I told him. I
Yeah.
said, so at the end, I said, first of all, you don't know her from Adam and Eve. You don't know if she's a fucking serial killer or a saint. You gotta get to know her, and she gotta get to know you. Because again, it's all cute. Again, we're young. We've been young. You're
Yeah.
young. I've been there. Oh, that nice of hormones kicking in. You just know you're gonna get some draws that night. You just know I
Exactly.
kick this
Oh, yeah.
$20 out.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
Nah,
okay, I'm gonna say this.
it's
In
the
your 20s, and everybody's different. Of course, you're very different. When I was 20, I never thought about getting married.
hmm
20 was not, "Ah, I'm gonna get married next week." As a guy, no. 'Cause I want to be able to go out there and sort my oats and touch a few cars. I want to just get the first car and put my down payment on that car. No, no. I want to try some other cars. I may try a minivan first. Nah, I don't want a minivan. I'm gonna get a sports car. So I want to be able to,
drive a
test
few
the
different
water.
cars. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, nah, so for him, I'm like, you can't see yourself getting married to because you don't know her. So
Yeah.
for you to spend that kind of money is nonsensical to me.
hmm
Now, take it to somewhere reasonable and get to know each other and then build from that. Don't I say, because the other thing is this, my friend. If you start spending that kind of money on her early, she's gonna expect that. Because that's all you've shown her. And a lot of guys get caught like that. I mean, growing up guys go out there spend all that money and all this and that, and all of a sudden that money, their pockets ain't that full. Them credit cards get maxed out. Now you ain't going
Uh,
5-star restaurants. You barely going 3-star restaurants. Shit, you barely going McDonald's.
so that's what happens. That's the swoop and swap. You
Yeah,
you
but
just
we
the
try to impress you.
brother who got all the funds. They just don't run out. You got the dinner money, the lunch money. He's that guy filling up the car, and then
Yes.
it stops. You're like, what happened? I thought, did you quit? I mean,
Exactly. It's like, what the hell happened to your money, man? Oh, well, being a man, you don't want to show that you slipping. Not this early.
mhm,
Damn, you just got
mhm,
her. You got her
yeah,
in the kind of in the bag, and now you slipping. Now she's thinking that you second. Like secondly, she's like, he was rolling. Now he's slipping.
now you just,
What if he slip again? So now
yeah.
you open up that possibility. Now she ain't looking at you as that high property anymore. She kind of look at you like, let me ride him a little bit longer.
We gotta tell our girls. He wishy washy, girl. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes he is. Sometimes he. You already know how we gonna get on the phone. You
See,
already know. Yeah.
see.
So
So I
sex though, it's it's like you're sowing too much too soon.
mm-hmm,
Right. Like you just didn't it's just like a woman allowing you access to her body,
mm-hmm.
right? It's like you're giving too much too soon, and both parties can be guilty of that.
Yep.
Uh, and that's how you get situations where, you know, neither one of the people respect each other, but y'all got a baby. Like, why y'all do that? Ain't nobody told you to do that. Go on, open up your legs for that little 5-star restaurant. What?
And now you're stuck because now you have this baby who's not playing, and now you don't pull him in a situation where he's at a certain level, and he ain't thinking about babies. He just thinking about having fun, having a good time, and all of a sudden, baby shows up.
Mm.
Now that relationship changes because now he's like, "Whoa, she tried to trap me. I can't tell him." Telling her guys like, "She's just trying to trap me because
First of all,
she didn't want me to wear no condom." I said, first of all, don't be that stupid. Be like an American Express card. Never leave home without a condom. Go out there because you don't know what kind of. Set aside pregnancy. But look at all the other diseases you got out there you could probably catch.
they
So
they just
protect yourself.
asked the girl if she got something, and if she say no, they said they good.
Come on, T. See, it's like no,
It's
you
just
gotta be smart.
process. That's
Oh, you gotta be smarter than that. So that's why like have the conversation with young people. You gotta have that real conversation. Plus, you gotta ask that question: where did she come from? You could bring up your kid a certain way as we all do. We bring our kids up a certain way, and we know they know what we look for or what we expect from them to bring home.
mm-hmm.
But if you date this girl, again, for us, it's about her looks. It's about that's the first thing is basically it's attracted to anybody is your looks. So if you say, oh, she's fine. Now you need to say, okay, she's fine. Let's dig into her background a little bit. Do you
Ooh,
have two parent family? Do you know who your daddy is? Do you have a good relationship? Because if she doesn't, 9 times out of 10, she's going to have a certain ish with her because she never had a proper male role model to show her like, oh, this is how a man should treat me. We talked about it earlier. Babies who don't even can't even speak when they see their fathers, their face light up like a Christmas tree. And the mom was like, "Look, she pushed me away. She doing all this." And I tell my all the young men I talk to, I say, "You have to understand, your kids are important, and your kids, you are the person that's gonna lead your kids in a proper direction based on what you believe in. If you're not there, then you can't lead your kid anywhere because the kid you weren't there. So he's gonna follow whoever she ever they follow. So now you come back later on in the picture for whatever reason, that you feel bad. Oh, I've been out here like 15 years. You come back in. Well,
you
that
still,
person's
you
different.
just
Years
you
later,
ain't
like,
lied.
oh,
Mm,
like I'll come back in and see what's going on. Now
yeah.
she's not gonna have the same respect for you because again, she goes, where were you? And you can't use well you and your mama. Damn that. Stop using mama. Y'all grown ass adults. So y'all should have that discussion. Like be there for your kids. And I tell all guys, be there for your kids. And again, if you got to take the girl to court to see your kids, take her to court. Do what you got to
No,
do. But don't
no,
allow that.
say the truth.
Huh?
Say the truth. If you gotta stop sleeping with that girl and take her to court, both. It's both. Yeah,
You have to.
they have to stop sleeping with them and take like because they don't do both. Most of the guys don't flex the court thing because they kind of slide in just a little bit. That's what I heard. That was word on the street. That's what I
And
heard.
and that's the other thing, T. Stop sliding in.
Yeah.
When the shit's over, say, you know what, it's over, move forward and move on and handle my business, take care of my kid, and move forward. But don't keep because when you sleep with her, in her head, oh, it's a possibility we can get back together. And you
Hmm.
can't do that because especially I ain't really trying to do that. But if you're trying to do it for other reasons, like I ain't want to pay too much child support, maybe if I
That
sit there and drop a little thing on her, maybe she'll.
maybe she did. Yeah, that one too. That one too. That was like, but you're playing with your own kid like this. Because then when she get mad, then she flex to the left, and now you can't come see your kid this month, and next thing you know, it's 3 months later. The next thing you know, it's 12 years later.
Yes.
Really, like you done let 12 years go by, and you keep blaming it on that woman. You're not a victim. I'm gonna need for the men to stop being victims. I'm gonna need for black men to start reading more. I'm gonna need y'all to start Googling and reading the stuff that you Googled. I'm gonna need to stop. I'm gonna need for black men to stop being victims of child support court. That's number one. It's a
And
lot of toolkits to use before you show up there. Stop showing up there talking about you can't afford child support and your car note that you know damn well you shouldn't even got that car from the first place. What? The judge don't give a damn. And a lot
no.
might need two jobs. That's what an older woman told me once before. She was like, Tamara, your husband might have to get a second job. You don't have. I was pregnant, and she was like, when you going out on leave? And I was like,
Oh.
damn, why I can't work? Because the modern woman, they tell us, you should maybe work all the way until you feel comfortable and not working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, damn all that modern woman stuff. Your man might need to get two jobs, and you need to go sit down. I said, well, you might have to get two jobs. But that's the fact. Like as a man, you don't have the primary not custody, but you don't have the primary responsibility of the child, right? You're
Yep.
not up in the morning, you're not doing the laundry, you're not fixing the lunches, the teacher's not calling you during the daytime. You know that the woman has that side of the thing. Um, you can add a little bit more to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all can take care of your kids and cut this shit out because it's embarrassing as a people. It's
It
embarrassing,
really is. It
and then we
fucking is.
have to, we have to tell these young men, like as peers and women, we have to first of all, sometimes it hurts us as women to have to look at another young woman and say, sis, baby girl, you have to have that man to stop playing with you. You actually have to take him to court. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what we need from our counterpart, those with maturity, is to look at the young boys and their peers because they're not even boys, they're men, they're same age
Mm-hmm.
guys, and say, you know, stop playing with those girls and those women with your children and, assist in financing properly that situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, you're no longer a boy anymore. When
Mm-mm.
you have a kid, you are now a man. I don't
Mhm.
give a damn whether you're 15 or 51. You are now a man. You have responsibilities. It's not her. Well, she should have known, nigga. You should have known. You should. Don't play with fire and don't expect to get burned.
Yeah.
Because again, you go in and play with her, and you do what you got to do, and you kicking it. We just kicking it,
Yeah. No.
and you kicked it right into.
Yeah, and everybody just want to kick it. I love it. And then you got to kick your own self in the ass. But you got to handle your shit.
Yep.
You got, and you can't take a break from handling your shit. That's the other thing. A lot of men, they want to get mad, and now you don't want to pay for shit. That's why a lot of them end up in child support court. They don't even mention that part. You got mad as fuck, and then you took a break from, I ain't paying shit this month. Really? You don't get to take a break. The baby is gonna eat year round. So
Every
now,
day.
what mom gonna say? No, baby girl. You know, you gonna have to take him to court now because I'm like, who's supporting this child if that man is not? Someone's going to have to foot that bill,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And the idea that a man wants to give their child the bare minimum in this lifetime, that's another thing that we have to talk to our sons about.
Yep.
Like our daughters, I'm sorry, moms too, ladies. Like if you're not stepping your parenting up, like I don't know what to say. Um, but men financially, the idea that you want to just give the bare minimum to your kids, that is that's why the women are bitter. And I would be bitter too if I have to raise like you're like, come on. Do you want to give me $200-300 a month to help raise our kids? Like that's 7-Eleven trips for the month. And sure, you would say, Tamara, that's poor planning. You shouldn't spend that much money there. But no, you're not going to give me the bare minimum to get by for our kid. So now I don't get to just stop and pick up whatever I want at Target. Now I can't just go get shoes for our kid. Like no, no, I'd be bitter too. I'd be
And,
I
oh yeah, I'll be pissed off because again, what a guy, a man can't tell me is, man, it's expensive to have kids. It's expensive to do this. I don't want to hear that. I don't
mm-mm.
want to hear nothing about how expensive anything is. I don't want to hear about any of that bullshit. All I know is, and all I care about is that you handle your responsibility. Again, nobody told you go up there, as you said, to shoot up the room, and
No,
then expect,
talking about doing a dance. No, you had a
yeah,
blast. You had a blast, and if that blast gonna last you, the blast gonna outlive you. That's what it's gonna do. It's gonna
yes,
outlive you, and
yes,
you
it will.
wanted to play around with, who you shared that with. That
Mm.
was your choice. So it can be beautiful. It can be very beautiful bringing a child into the world with somebody who you actually care and who you respect and who is worth sowing into them, and they're going to sow back into you. Um, but that is normally not something that's going to come cheap. It's normally something
Oh,
you're going to get to know.
and
And
let me tell you, not to cut you off, but the last account I saw about raising a kid from 0 to 18 is now $351,000 a year.
see, I'm not.
Three hundred and
Could
fifty-one
you imagine?
thousand.
Could you imagine? Uh-uh. Well, you have to imagine. I'm assuming you paid for it. Like, but could I imagine? Like, come, that would be crazy. No. Uh-uh. I'd be
Yes,
so fast in front of the judge. No, judge, Your Honor. Your Honor. Let me get my list together. Yeah, I would want to be paid for the laundry service. I would want to be paid for every time that kid get up in the middle of the night. I need half of that. No, I can't even.
damn.
Oh, yeah, because I don't even understand the child support. Number one, and we're kind of going off on the tangent here, but you done pissed me off the other day when you sent me that child support should be on the credit card, on a little debit card. I said I can't stand the. First of all, the men already irresponsible. And then your irresponsible ass self got the nerve to tell me how to spend my irresponsible money. No, no, I'm not. And by the way, I can't pay part of the rent with this credit card. No. Child support goes for part of your child's head to be laid in this house, especially when they ain't got no room at your house. That's crazy.
Eh,
And
eh, eh,
electricity. So no, it can't go on the card. And yes, I got to pay some of these bills with it. I don't know why people are out here pretending. I am not. I will not. Yes, I will not. You couldn't. No, couldn't been me. Because
eh,
I
eh,
would say yes.
oh,
Child
damn.
support going to part of the rent. I have one room in a three-bedroom space, and you talking about these kids? Well, I should be able to afford that. I can, and I will not. Okay, those are our children. What, like, cause in what mathematics where would that crank out to where I should foot the whole burden of the children, and your child support should go on the card for dispensables in the store? What? No, no.
See, we
I
definitely have to come and have to revisit child support because a lot of guys, I say guys send me emails all the time like, man,
oh man,
this is bullshit, man. They take all my money.
about
And,
that.
and I go back, I respond back to him, brother, I feel you, but I don't feel you. I said, because again, you played the game, you lost. Again,
Oh,
you understand, you go into a situation, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And again, a kid is not a stupid prize, but you understand it takes two of you guys to make a baby. So if you didn't say, you know what, I don't even take that chance, or I wear comms, I won't just assume that she's protected. That's another thing. I said, why you assume she's protected? Because she told me so.
it's
Did you see her take the
easy to
pill?
think about that. It's easy to say it's her fault. It's
Because she's
easy.
oh, that's good. I can go ahead and shoot up the
Yeah,
club. And then the next, oh shit, I can't believe she's pregnant. Oh, but T, that brings to another point. Gentlemen, men, make sure you set aside $500 somewhere, either in a shoebox or give it to your mama, give it to someone. Because I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna cause a lot of shit. I know T, your mouth gonna drop. You're gonna
What
be
is it
hot.
for?
You can't trust that that baby is yours. So you're probably when the baby get here, go get a DNA test just to be sure.
We all make
Because we've
mistakes.
heard a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
oh, 18 years I'm paid for. You are not the father. What? I need my money back. Oh, I know who it is now. It's not you. Bitch, I know it ain't mine.
That's not okay. Okay. See, see what we're speaking to here. These are trust issues. These are that. See, how can someone be wed and you don't even know if the baby gonna be yours? See, these are the issues. These are the issues. And I'ma just say on that one, I think as a people, as a people, all of the people in all
Yep,
of our country, I think that out of all of the things that they bill us on, down to them damn little slipper socks. Now, how much they charging us for them slipper socks at the hospital? Okay, that little
yes,
cheap gown. When you know my little pajama gown from Macy's costs less than that hospital gown. You see what I'm saying? They didn't overcharge us on everything on that bill,
yep,
and somehow a DNA test cannot be afforded by the hospital and then mandate it. You gotta make somebody, you gotta make my son ask for the DNA test so that he look like the bad because you cannot ask me for one. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like let's not be dumb. Let's not be that's why it has to be mandated. Let us not be silly. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely. We couldn't even be here this day. Okay, if a man parted his lips and asked me for a DNA test before in the hospital, do you know where your hormones are at? Especially you're not even expecting this. Oh yeah, my mom said I think it's a good idea because you know they gotta lie, pretend like their mother, their aunt, somebody else said it's a good idea that I think we should get a DNA test. Listen, snatch out the IV, okay? Give me my boots because it's going down. And you know, first of all, hospital got security in there for a reason. Y'all not gonna put that off on those people. That's probably why they didn't mandate it now. I'm sorry. We have a lot to build up to get to this point. That's one thing, okay? Because
yes.
you can't the hospital staff can't handle this. I just realized it right there in that moment. They can't handle it. No, y'all not gonna put your family matters off on the security staff. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
See, so that's why you have to. If it wasn't such a big thing,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even mention it. But a lot of guys said it to me. Said, you know what? You know how do I know she ain't playing around? You don't know. How did she know you're not playing around? Oh, there's trust. It's a trust thing. So
Yeah.
again, she's assuming that you're not playing around with anybody else but you,
Yeah.
and vice versa. But if y'all have a kind of a hit and miss kind of relationship, you ain't really that tight. You're tight, but you ain't really that tight. You do still
Mm-hmm.
creep out now and then. It's possible. So again, that will eliminate all possibilities. Plus, for me, that will also eliminate these future issues because a lot of people don't understand the futures now. You may not want to talk about it now, but somehow down the road, some shit could come up. Like,
Right.
a blood test shows up
That's
or some shit comes up and
that's
you old positive and this kid be negative. You're like, what the hell? So now you out there and she's like,
oops,
you know how I mean? Now T, how
oops.
you know a stuff with such it could be based on the
Let's
time that
let's go.
that
How about y'all just don't look nowhere there like? How about that? A good old fashioned that Joker just don't look like the rest of us. Okay? How about that? That's like, come on. That's the most realistic one.
Yep.
That person keep growing up and they're growing away from the family look because the
Yep.
family has a look.
They
Okay,
do.
the nuclear family, you know, everybody's looks just are blended and you see different parts in each person,
Mm-hmm.
except for that one person,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
even that one person sees it.
Yep. Yep.
So
Again, Mama may have been a she may be first lady of the church now, but
mhm.
she was the first lady of the streets back in the day,
No,
and
you
now it's
know
just
that. Some of our women are, that test gonna fly. Flying colors every time, baby. No, they are pristine. Okay. I'm gonna give it up to the ladies. No, some of them are all the way together. Don't even try it. Okay. Some of us are reborn. Don't get me wrong. And we are allowed to be that. However, some of my ladies are pristine and they will check out every time. Yeah. Yeah. This is gonna be, regular business for most of us. Huh. Ain't no
yeah.
security coming to our room. We good. We gonna check out. We take
See,
home.
and
Yeah.
that's true. That y'all
Mhm.
would do that. But again, these are all the things that come into play when you start to play the
As,
game called life, the
as,
game called kids, the game called responsibility. Nobody gives a shit about your pockets. You can have as many kids as possible, but if your ass can't take care of them, don't have none. A lot of guys, I can't afford this. Well, get it, as you said, get a second job. I can't
mhm.
feel sorry for you. Is and I always ask them this. They'll send me something. One guy said, "Oh, I have three kids," and I said, "Are they your kids?" He said, "Yeah." What we talk about? I said, "You had an opportunity." And what? Again, this one particular person sent me an email said, "I told her to have an abortion, and she didn't want to have no abortion." I said, "Her body, her right, her
Mhm.
choice." So you again shot up the club. She decided, no, I don't believe in that. Then you're gonna try to pay child support. And
Mhm.
he's like, man, I guess I gotta get a couple jobs, whatever it's gonna take. I said, because the baby has to eat every day.
We'll see.
The baby changes clothes every day. That's
We'll
the
see
baby.
job training. You can upgrade sometimes. You just gotta go back and get a little more training. However you do it though, however it's done.
Whatever you need to do. But
Yeah.
again, all of this that we're talking about goes back and hurts the community. First of all, when you hurt the family, you now hurt the community. So now these kids become part of the community, a broken community, mind you. And now they grow up thinking that this is the way they should live. No, that's not the way they should live.
Yeah.
And it's your responsibility to make sure that you do the best you can to wherever based on the situations. And one guy said, I can't control the house. No, you can't control the kids. She control your house. Oh, no, she can't control my house. So why the hell would she allow you to control her house? I gotta make sure she don't put a whole bunch of kids or a bunch of men around my kid. You lost all that shit when you decided to break up with her.
Same
You
thing with
lost all that. Yep.
the woman. You can't control how many women that man is bringing around your child. But I want to go back real quick
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about job training.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep maintaining lower skill jobs as a culture and normalizing lower skill jobs, and I don't know them specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but if we don't want to invest in our skill, that means that the monies that we make will be scant. It'll be a little bit. No
Yep.
one ever wants to give what they don't have a lot of. So the idea that you go into the world, you want to perform in the world at a minimal, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
learn a craft, you don't want to learn a skill, you don't want to go to school, right? You just want to work.
Mm-hmm.
But you have nothing to work. Okay. A lot of this goes right to like literally this is it. And this is not the men only. This is the women only. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
saw a post on it, and this is just for chuckles, okay. But I saw one post, and the brother said, "We done dealing with women who make $12 an hour."
Oh my God.
So what it speaks to is the idea of us getting our levels up, like our skill level up, right? Now the women, they are, when you look at it as a whole, okay? there's still a lot of women who are underachieving,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Just as there are men who are underachieving. Maybe you started on something, a trade, a skill, a degree, and you didn't bring it to completion. Maybe you tripping because you owe a university a couple $1,000s. You owe the trade school a few $1,000s. You owe the beauty school a few. Listen, people, you have to pay those people that money. Okay. You have to go back and get your skill, get your degree, get whatever it is that you have, and you also have to work on it.
Absolutely.
Nobody comes out with these brand new skills or capabilities and you're the best at it. You're not going to graduate here school and be like, you know, a knockdown beautician. Okay. Nobody's knocking at your door immediately. We're going
W-
to have to build on this skill, work on it, and put your name out there. You're not going to come out of plumbing school and then all of a sudden you're just going to be like, Mario and Luigi plumbing all around the city. Nobody knows you yet. You got to work on these things. You got to work under people. What I'm saying is we have to take time to not just play around in the bed and in the sheet, not just hang out at nightclubs, not just play video games. And I'm not telling us not to enjoy our time and not to enjoy our life, but we have to increase our skills out here because that's really where we're losing at. And when you listed off all the different races, we were at the least for marital numbers, like marriage
Mhm.
numbers, but we were
Mhm.
at the bottom for household income. Yeah. And it's like when you're putting two survivors inside of a box and seeing how they're going to, live. And it's like I'm trying to survive and he trying to, like he trying to make me uncomfortable. And I'm trying to make him. I need and he need. How are we gonna get along? And then how long are we gonna be able to get along for?
Yes,
And
that
then
is true.
we really have to start setting our children up for success. And we have to go back and sometimes get the success that we kind of sat down in order to raise our children or in order to kind of um, pay the bills for the right now, so to speak. Like we really have to go get that skill that's going to be high paying and in demand and really work on that. And that would require many of us to slow down on consuming so much um, goods and things. Yeah.
That's very true, and I'm glad you brought that up because the next set of millionaires I also read are going to be plumbers, electricians,
Mm.
HVAC trades
Mm-hmm.
because you can control. You get paid as a intern, as a what was it apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid for that, and it's like going to college, you get the student debt. College ain't for everybody. We're gonna say this, ladies and gentlemen. College is not for everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to gain a skill that's gonna make you be successful. Because the $10, $15 job will never make it.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to take care of a family, you couldn't take care of yourself for $15 an hour. So let alone add a body into that, a person
Yeah.
into that. There's no way you can do it. But you have to get a skill, and you always got to make sure that you're progressing. Here's a prime example. T, I've signed up for a program for the next year for the next 28 days to learn AI. And I use AI all the time.
Yeah.
But I also understand that AI is the future. AI is going nowhere. I could stick my head in the goddamn sand and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna pay no attention to it," and stick my head up, and next you know, I ain't got shit because it has moved past me. So
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is, you always have to make sure that you're progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm at that level where I shouldn't even I don't even want, I shouldn't have to worry about it, but I have to because I'm not that kind that's going to wind it down like, oh, I'm here, I'm good. No, I'm never good because again, you always want to be needed. You always want to be able at that point where somebody can come to you and say, I'll pay you wherever you ask. That's the biggest thing. If
Well,
you say, I'm not going to make, I have to make $175,000 to do this job. And they're going to look at your resume and say, you know what? You got all them skills. I, I got to pay you plus bonuses plus anything else. But
mhm.
if you're saying, oh, please, can you just hire me and I can work my way up? Then you'll always work your way up because you're at the needs and wants of somebody else rather than coming there demanding anything. You come in there begging. So
Because invest in yourself. See, that's what I'm saying. Like We have to invest in ourselves. It's it's money. One thing about, I don't want, not all black, don't get me wrong, but it seems like we don't value investing our hard-earned money right back into ourselves in the form of a skill, academic tutoring, or just courses in general. Like we it and I'm not saying someone shouldn't else, like you really should find someone else to pay for it if you can. Don't,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yes.
if you can't, it's nothing wrong with digging inside of your own pocket and footing the bill to invest that back into you. Now that's money, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
outside of money, you have to be willing to invest your own time back into yourself. Because we'll invest all of our time. And what did they just say about Roblox and all these other things that the kids and the men are playing the video games for? You're basically doing the job for the game, right? You're investing your time into someone else's stuff. No, you're supposed to invest your time also, though, back into yourself and build your craft, build your skill, build your capabilities up into, like you said, something that is in demand. And if you're not doing that, you just going through. And way too many of us are going through. That's why we're so bitter that the woman wants you to take care of the whole household. My guy, it's not even that much damn money. And we all, oh, she can't pay 50. What? Why? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Add some babies and, two cars up in here, then I might for some bills, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's just me and you, and this is our first type of. It's because we're living life so close to, zero, and you realize, get your money up, and it would be your honor to pay all of her bills, right? And she would reciprocate, and it would be her honor to take care of you in all the ways that a woman would take care of a man properly, right? And it would really
Mm-hmm.
change the perspective when you are living to service each other and to serve each other and to honor each other, as opposed to trying to take from and be provided for because I'm in need of, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you're not in need of stuff.
No. And that, like I said, that's the thing that, we guys are trying to tell you guys. This shit's gonna get harder. 2025 right around the corner. In 2025, I read stuff all the time because I'm a businessman. So I understand the life that you guys think. Let me step back for a second. This is for particularly men. I hear so many guys, I want to be, the next rap star. I want to be this and want to be that, but everybody don't want to go work.
Mhm.
I told another guy, I said, yeah, you may have that dream, but that means you gotta work part time. You gotta do something. You can't just sit around and hope that Jimmy E or Evine or Dr. Dre or Smile walk up to you, 50 Cents walk up to you and say, hey, it's a rap contract. It's not gonna happen. So you gotta be smart enough to say, yeah, you may want to do that, but you're gonna have to pay the bills. That means you
Mhm.
got to get some sort of skills to pay the bills rather than hoping you hit it big. It's like the lottery. They have $1 billion. That means everybody gonna win that $1 billion. One person may win that $1 billion. So you sitting here hoping that my rap career is gonna take me to the next level. No, you have to be smart. You have to be practical. Get a skill. If you want to do it, work your ass off to build it. But don't sit here and think that I'm gonna sit here and live on someone or sit back and hopefully I'll hit that big hit and get that. No, it's not gonna happen. You have to get a skill. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get a skill. AI or whatever your skill set is.
The
If you can go with your
robot,
hands, something.
the robot trying to replace the little menial.
Yes, every day.
They're already doing it. Like, if
Already happening.
answered phones before, we grew up, we saw secretaries, we saw receptionists, we saw cashiers. Our children, my children, they don't know the jobs of it. They don't know what a secretary was or is. Like, they're like, what's a secretary?
What's
Like,
that?
somebody who
The-
types, answers the phones, and gets the mail. That's unheard of,
Yep.
in today's society. And so the jobs that we think are just okay to take on and kind of carry us through, um, a lot of those jobs will start to disappear. and then they're not going to come back because it's not going to be sensible to bring them back.
No, they're
Uh,
not coming back. It's a lot of jobs that's just going to disappear. Now,
mhm.
what you do, no robot's going to replace anyone doing hair. That's not going to happen.
Well,
Uh,
they could, you know, I
but
could use
by
touch right now, and I would purchase a few of the robots if we still try to be in business. But darn, um, it's going to be the things that you offer with your hands that are service driven, that are artistic, that take a little bit of skill, take a little bit of thinking and troubleshooting and figuring out. um, Absolutely, those are going to be the jobs. And I think that's why you mentioned the plumbers and the HVAC techs and the electricians. um, those are going to be the, because you also have to service those in between, right? Not only just installing them but servicing them, and um, you know, changing them out and doing whatever needs to be done there. You will kind of always are going to need those things. That's the foundation to a lot of our construction. It ain't going.
yeah, it ain't going nowhere. I mean, you got the guys, the mechanics now. I went to get my car checked earlier this week. The dude charged me $75 just to check. And you know what he did? He took a plug. He
Mm,
plugged it into the engine and said, "Doo, doo, 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 doo. Oh, this what you need. This, and this." That's all
mm.
he did. I had to charge him. They said, "Oh, that's separate. You know, we can't even add that. That's for him to plug that little thing in the system and hit the computer, and that's $75." And that's all he does all day long. So you
Oh
imagine
yeah,
all day long is to stick that plug into a damn thing. 10, let's just say 10. You do 10 a day. That's $750 that this guy gets for what he does,
yeah.
and they may pay him like maybe half of that. But you start talking about $375 for
Mhm.
him just sticking the plug in. Hands ain't dirty. They put his gloves on and stick it in there and boom. So that's what we're heading to, people.
Mhm.
So that's what we're saying. You have to be smart nowadays. I mean, there's no war between men and women. There's opportunity between for men and women to grow and to prosper and to takes up this mindset that somehow she's keep me down, he's keep me down. No, you both keep each other down if you're not doing what's necessary to build yourself up. It's all about building yourself up, and that's what you've been saying.
So I think what we're speaking to is like a disrespect that is existing, that's keeping each other down, right?
Yep.
Like that's the big elephant in the room, right? At the end of the day, I just feel disrespected by this person, right?
Mhm.
And I can't build with somebody who I come in the house and I feel disrespected by that person. I can't build with them. I can't respect them. I don't want to keep no assets that we might have together. Man, pull all that ish down. But we have to get to a point where, either you're choosing someone who you don't feel disrespected by so that you can start to build with them, um, or you have to really start to figure out how to keep those assets in place, so that we're not tearing everything down that we have a chance to build up just because y'all decided, y'all wanted to go y'all own separate ways. Because that's like we're building up and then sell it all because he's leaving, so sell the house, and I'm not giving him nothing, or I'm not giving her nothing, let's just liquidate it all, type of thing. And so the wealth is dwindling, the assets are of no more, so to speak. And then you're scared to build and move on because you're afraid that this same thing is going to happen all over again. Well, it will if you continue to disrespect or eat disrespect all over again. um because I think that and deceit, right? And which they probably go hand in hand. The disrespect and deceit that occurs in the relationships and kind of how we deal with them. Like we said, some different cultures look at the marriage more so as a business agreement directly, whereas we look at marriage, for so many of us, right? It's just we want it for love, right? If it's
Mhm.
not for love, don't give it to me, right? If that man don't smell good and if he don't make me feel good, and if just like his whole aura and energy is just not like I'm not falling in love with it, then I don't want it, type of thing. Um, and I don't think that we speak about marriage in any other light other than love within our culture for a lot of us. And I think that we should start speaking about it more than that, because the business side of it is the part that I think sometimes get you to kind of hold on. Some people say just let the love, make you hold on. No, the hell it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. The
Mm.
kids, yeah. But love, that's the shit that went out the door. Like what? No, no. Sometimes that love is not going to hold you through it, right? It's got to be perhaps some other tangible things to say. You know what? Let me calm down and figure out how we're gonna handle these assets. And sometimes it's the kids too. The kids make you hold on to stuff. Like hold on, hold. The love might be gone, but those kids, hold on. Let me sit still and make me hold on. I gotta think. I gotta think. And maybe love will circle back around. Um, but if there's something else there, that you have to really slow down and consider. And I mean, let's just be real. Look at Tyrese's life. Like,
Hello.
was you gonna level up from Tyrese? Was you gonna do that? Is that what you was gonna do? If you would have just slowed down and just said, let me not be so emotional. Let me not just be thinking for one side of the situation, right? Let me hold on for just a little bit. And holding on doesn't mean, especially when you're in such an affluent space, that you have to hold on in the same home, right?
True.
Nobody said that you have to be married and stay in the same marital home as people. You can have a break from people. Some people go to their mom's house. You hear some men. I was at a hotel for 3 months. Yeah, take your ass to that damn hotel. Yeah, and it just go like that. And you'll hear some men go get they rent a house a block over. Whatever they got to do to kind of get through that little stint, so everybody can kind of calm down and just think their way through it. Because there is more at stake than just love, and for the long run, that that love thing don't fill you on vacation. It don't fill that house up. It don't turn that heat on. It don't keep the car running. It don't keep the kids happy. Like it's a lot of other things going on in the marriage than just that. And if we only keep that piece of the marriage at the forefront, and that's the only thing that exists, we'll always disintegrate these marriages because you know the love kind of will come and go. Shit, now you yeah, yeah, I can't. Sometimes we can't stand y'all. Just because the mood, you just wake up.
Yep.
You just wake up
That's
and
true.
don't like. That's how women can be. Y'all say we emotional all the time. It's not a lie. That's not.
No. No. It's not.
No, I don't feel like him. I don't feel like him. Mm-mm. Can't quite put your finger on it, but no. Um, the issue between the women and the men and the marriage, and like looking at it at the bigger point of view, like that's great for educational purposes, but who it really affects, they won't see those numbers even if we deliver it right, even if
Mm-hmm.
speaking about it on the podcast, even the extreme, left and right, if they even if they're mentioning, those stats, it's and they're not going to just settle down with any old body just because
No.
that effect is there, that deceit is still present, that game is still there, right?
Yes.
Till
Yes.
we stay real live, I'm I deserve better as a man. Yes, I deserve it as a woman. I don't why I keep lying all over the place. Why am I doing all this lying because it's not served me. I'm still, I might make 60, 80,000 dollars a year, but it's not that's all. You don't
Yeah.
got much to show for it. You got your own spot, you ain't got much furniture in it. You got nice cars, but I mean, huh, it's
That's
not
true.
that.
That is true. Oh
Yeah.
my God, girl, I swear. Yeah. y- As always, you just put it all. You take it from this part and bring it right down to the simple man, the everyday man, and the woman. And basically, that's he said everything that needed to be said. You guys have to really look at yourselves and ask yourself first, why are you doing what you're doing? And if you can't tell yourself why you're doing what you're doing, you probably go back and reevaluate it. And then move forward. But don't you can't continue to live this particular way because it's not going to end well for anybody, not you or your kids. So. But like I said, guys, you can't say we didn't tell you. So with that, we're going to end this episode of On the Mic with the M.
Fancy.
Listen, y'all, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the little bell so you can get it when we put the new material out there, and just come join the channel. Come sit with us for a spell. And until then, peace and blessings to you, and just do the right thing, y'all.